Good evening. Welcome to our candidate forum for the Midcoast Community Council. This is our second in a series of 3 candidate forums, co-sponsored by the Midcoast Community Council and the League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters has graciously helped us out tonight. Karen Bertrand is our moderator. We've got Betty Fleming. Where's Betty? Betty's back there. She's our usher. If you have any questions, please raise your hand with your little white card. Betty will come by and pick it up. And we've got Shirley Robinson as our timekeeper. Candidates, please keep an eye on the timekeeper. She'll let you know with signs how much time you have left. We have a limited amount of time tonight, so please keep an eye on that. Keep your answers on target. I would also like to let everybody know that this is being recorded by Pacific Coast Television. You can go to their website and see this in the next couple of weeks. I think it'll be replayed several times. I'm not sure the times. You can go to their schedule and check that out. I'd also like to advise everybody who's interested in Midcoast issues to check out the Midcoast Community Council website, which is midcoastcommunitycouncil.org. That is your best site, best location, best source for all kinds of information about the Midcoast, especially source documents. If you want the map, if you want the minutes, if you want the document that has the plans, that's the place to go for things on the Midcoast. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Karen. Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you so much. My name is Karen Bertrand. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters, North and Central San Mateo County, and I'll be your moderator tonight. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization open to both men and women. We encourage the informed and active participation of citizens in government. We also thank the candidates for appearing here tonight. All candidates have been made aware of the rules in advance, but for the audience, I'll briefly review. Firstly, please turn off or silence your cell phones. Because this is a nonpartisan setting, there'll be no campaign literature or other material in the room. Questions will be submitted in writing to our usher, who will bring them to the moderator table. Since I will be reading and categorizing your questions by topic as I receive them, please try to write legibly and keep your questions brief and focused. If several questions are related to the same topic, I may combine them, so you may not hear your question exactly as written. I'll do my best to cover a variety of topics and try to get to all of your questions tonight. Questions of a personal nature will not be considered and will be deemed out of order. All candidates, well, both candidates, will have equal time to speak to the question, even if the question was addressed to one candidate. And in the interest of time, please hold any applause till the end, and we'll thank all the candidates with a round of applause. For this election, there are 2 candidates for 1 seat, and the term of office is 2 years. The candidates are Brandon Kwan and Barbara Mathewson. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for opening statements, then we'll move to the Q&A period, where each candidate will have 1 minute to answer. Closing will also be given 2 minutes. Before we started, the candidates drew lots to see who would give the opening statement first. Again, candidates, 2 minutes for opening. And our first candidate to speak will be Brandon.
Thank you. I'm Brandon Kwan, and I want to first thank the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this debate event. And I also want to thank the audience for coming despite the vice presidential debate. There is something magical about the unincorporated coast, whether it is the quaint small town feeling or the view of the mighty ocean cliffs. We all have this special feeling about this community in our hearts. As a tourist and an ecology expert, I value what the coast has to offer to both residents and visitors. There are many challenges facing our special community we all call home. For too long, traffic has been paralyzing our roads. For too long, annexation and suburban sprawl has been threatening our identity. I am running for the Midcoast Community Council because I want to reduce traffic, protect our rural identity, preserve our parks and recreation opportunities, and grow our local economy by helping local businesses. Tonight, we will discuss our visions for the future of El Granada, Princeton, Moss Beach, and Montera. If I had a dream 40 years down the line, I would be walking by the shoreline with my grandchildren. As the ocean waves come, I would tell my grandchildren, this is the Midcoast I know. This is the same Midcoast I grew up with and loved. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara?
Hi, I'm Barbara Mathewson, and I'd like to thank the MCC for hosting tonight, as well as the League of Women Voters. Thank you. I want to be a voice for the Coast Side. I've been a resident and homeowner here for almost 45 years. I raised my children in Montera. They went to all through school here. I've been a den mother. I've been the co-president of the Half Moon Bay High School grad night, class of 2000. And I have been on the advisory board for the Cabrillo Union High School, Cabrillo School District, with John Bayless as on the advisory board for the addition for the high school. I was born and raised on the peninsula, and 27 years ago, along with hundreds of other Midcoast residents, we supported the formation of the Midcoast Community Council. You were there to be our voice of the Midcoast. I've watched the meetings throughout the years, and it's my belief that MCC has done a great job. Now my children are grown, I'm retiring, and I have the time and the desire to serve the residents from Miramar to Montera. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we'll move to the Q&A section. Again, candidates will have 1 minute to answer. Shirley will give you a heads up when there are 30 seconds left. So we've had a few questions on this topic, so I'll ask this one first. What's the best way to keep traffic from getting worse? And we'll start with Brandon.
Well, traffic is one of my main concerns, and this is one of the main topics I want to address. First of all, I want to increase the cooperation with Samtrans as implied in the local coastal plan, and I want to make sure we have more shuttle services as well. I want to make sure we have shuttle services to special events such as the Mavericks, the Dream Machine, and the upcoming Half Moon Bay Pumpkin Festival. This will make sure that traffic will be reduced, bringing cars off the roads while also bringing tourism to our community. And this will help our economy grow much more while keeping our mom and pop stores open. And I also want to make sure we expand our school bus program as well. I understand Route 18 is being experimentally opened this fall to Kunha Middle School and Half Moon Bay High School. And I encourage an expansion in the school bus program. Thank you.
Thank you. Barbara?
Well, traffic congestion is definitely one of my concerns. I don't see it getting any better. I do not support building a 4-lane highway down here. I don't. At the same time, I don't see how we can turn 2 million visitors away every year. A couple of Saturdays ago, I realized I forgot to pick up an important prescription, and I had to drive to Half Moon Bay to pick it up. I was literally in traffic for 1 hour and 8 minutes to go 7 miles. So indeed, I think Connect the Coast has an attempt to try to get the traffic better, but I think signals and crosswalks every couple of blocks is not the answer. So I don't have an answer for it.
Thank you. And this time we'll start with Barbara, and the question is, how could the MCC better represent the Midcoast community?
Well, I'm going to put it back on the community. I was one of the people that stood up and voiced rather rudely to the Midcoast Council. I blamed them for all the problems down here, and I realized that I was part of the problem. I think that we all need to be involved. We all need to listen and be made aware of what's going on and be involved. Like with the 70 people coming to complain about the water. If we could have that at the Midcoast Council, I think we could get our voice out to the residents, and the residents share in making the Midcoast Council run better.
Thank you. Same question, Brendan?
Thank you. You know, I believe that the Midcoast Community Council is the right fit to have and listen to people's voices along the coast side and the unincorporated community. You know, we're an advisory council, and we're meant to be the megaphone for you guys, and we're trying to advise the county on issues that affect every day and every aspect of your life. And I want to make sure we have an increased presence if I'm to be have the opportunity to be elected onto the council. I want to make sure we have we attend ceremonies, ribbon cutting, and I applaud the MCC, the current members, for having a good job doing ribbon cutting for the Surfers Beach. And I also want to make sure we have committees, subcommittees, so we can filled with you guys, so we can have important issues and we could express them to the county, and that's going to represent you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will start with Brandon. What do you think is the Midcoast major problem, and what are some of your solutions?
I believe we have some major problems including traffic. Our other major problems is regarding parks and recreation opportunity, and also keeping it rural and preventing the coastside, the unincorporated coast, from being annexed by Half Moon Bay. I want to make sure that we I address traffic already, adding more buses, school buses. I also want to make sure we also have parks and recreation opportunities, especially for dog owners in El Granada. I've heard many dog owners, they want more pet way stations and possibly dog parks so they could let their dogs run around. And I think that we could coordinate with the El Granada Community Service District to make it happen. And I will try to communicate and coordinate with as many agencies as possible, whether it's public or private. Thank you.
Thank you, and same question to Barbara.
I think one of the most important things that we do need to keep here is protect our natural resources. We have the most beautiful beaches, we have the marine reserve, we have some of the most beautiful agricultural land on the San Mateo coast. I'm concerned about development in our... Is that for me?
It might be the hospital.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm concerned about development, and I believe that, again, we need to be... what is that?
Well, I just hope we're safe.
There's a PA system here that's attached to the hospital, so there we go. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Would you like me to reread the question?
Yes, please.
Certainly, no problem. Okay, so the question, Barbara, is what do you think is Midcoast's major problem, and do you have any solutions to solve it?
Again, I believe that one of our major problems is traffic. As Brandon said, we need to be concerned about the safety of our roads for our visitors as well as ourselves. I'm concerned about development that's unrealistic or out of control for our area. And I feel like we really need to protect our natural resources that we have here on the coast, from agriculture, our harbors, marine reserve, beaches, etc.
Thank you. Now we have a question going in a little bit of a different direction to know a little bit more about your background. We'll start this with Barbara. Can you tell us a little bit about your community service experience?
Oh, okay. Well, as I stated, I was involved with the Half Moon Bay High School grad night. I spent 4 years on that committee, working my way up to president on my son's senior year. I was active with the school district as far as the parcel tax and the original parcel tax that we shot down. I was involved with my son's Cub Scouts when moms were able to be leaders. I've done various projects with the Native Daughters of the Golden West. I have worked for 45 years for PG&E, and I've done beach cleanup with them and some various things I can't even think of right now. But That's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Brandon?
Thank you. I'm an ecology and tourist expert by background. I have a degree, a life science degree from Texas A&M University from Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Sciences. I also used to work at the San Mateo County Parks. I removed invasive grass species. I helped maintain our trails, our dirt trails. I also did wildlife education, and I also try to help educate the public about why we have preserves and to protect our natural wonders and endangered species. I also try to educate the public to try to leave as little impact as possible as part of my ecology background. And I also worked at the Coyote Point Marina, and I currently work at the Edgewater Marine in Foster City, which is an zero-emission electric boat company in the Foster City Lagoon. And I look forward to working with you guys on the council. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next question will start with Brandon. If you were to find yourself on the council and there was a conflict between the county desires and plans and the local community desires and plans, how would you balance that, and which would take precedence for you?
It is my job, if I were to have the opportunity to get elected to council, to express the views of the coastsiders, and that is the mission statement of the Midcoast Community Council, to be an advocate for the incorporated coast. You know, we're not a city. We don't have our own government, and the county is the one running us. So we need to have our voice heard to the county. And I want to also have a good relationship with all 5 supervisors, not just Don Horsley, so we can get things done. And if things come head to head, such as development issues, then we can have the power of the ballot box. We could have a ballot measure, you know, like how Brexit was very decisive for the British people. We can have a ballot measure that will be decisive here. It's fair and it's square, and whoever wins will have the mandate to claim the voice of the coastsiders. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara, same question.
Well, it's kind of what brought me to running for Midcoast Council, was that many of us felt that our needs and our desires were not being heard. I believe that our Midcoast Council is doing an excellent job, and I would never have run against any of the current members. But I do feel that at times there are, in regards to development, the people's voice needs to be heard more. And that's something that I want to make sure happens if I'm elected, and at the same time work well with the council and the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. And Barbara, we'll start with you on this next question. Would you recommend that the water district unify with Half Moon Bay?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's one of the top priorities. I've lived here when we had no water. I lived here when we had brown water, we had yellow water. When our rates were just out of control, I respect everything that our water board has done, and I would not support that in any way.
Thank you. And Brandon?
Hell no, absolutely not. I mean, I advocate for no annexation by Half Moon Bay, and if the water district merges with the Half Moon Bay, then the next step would be annexation. So absolutely not. I mean, Half Moon Bay, they have the golf courses, they have a bunch of nurseries, and they don't have their own source of water. So if we merge with them, they're going to drain our precious source of water. Guys, we have a drought, and we need to be conscious of the environment. As an ecologist by background, I want to make sure that we have something to pass on to the future generations. I mean, like, we cannot be greedy right here. We need to be conscious of everyone, and we need to make sure we preserve our source of water. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara, we'll start with you again. What is your position on the proposed housing project in Moss Beach?
I'm against it. I have some very serious concerns about that project. They are safety, the road safety, highway safety, the location of it I feel is absolutely not appropriate. I very much believe in low-income housing and affordable housing, but not in that neighborhood until the traffic issues are addressed and the road issues are addressed.
Thank you. Brandon?
Thank you. That project, as of right now, I view is unacceptable right now. You know, I mean, like, I'm not just being harsh to people with low income, but I'm just saying that we need to look at reality right now. I mean, we already have the big wave project, and we're now struggling. We're now stepping into another problem about roundabouts versus traffic lights. And you know, the big wave people are now like trying to disagree with Caltrans, and you know, they're creating another battle, from one battle to another, and we don't need any more of these traffic. And also because like jobs, I mean, we're made of mom and pop shops. Do you seriously think that mom and pop shops can hire full-time employees? I think that we should coordinate with Half Moon Bay and Pacifica and other suburban cities to try to accommodate them. And I think that coordination and communication is the key in order to solve the housing crisis issue. It's not just a local issue, it's a regional issue. We're all struggling together and we must unite and communicate with each other.
Thank you. And Brandon, this next question will start with you. Do you think that Midcoast Council has a good relationship with the Board of Supervisors, and how would you improve that relationship?
Well, I think it has a little better relationship right now with Don Horsley compared to Rich Gordon. But I'm not going to dwell and try to talk about their personalities, but I will try to make relationships with all 5 supervisors. That's how we get things done. We need to make sure that all 5, I mean, I knew Carol Broom when she was the mayor of San Mateo, and I hope she remembers me, but I do not know, I'm not sure if she does, but I want to make sure we have a personal, and I think that starting by personal relationship, by talking, finding something in common, and then we can work together once we find something in common. And I think that we have something that we all do have in common and that we can work for the better good of our community and the county of San Mateo. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara?
Could you repeat that question, please?
Sure. Do you think that Midcoast Council has a good relationship with the Board of Supervisors, and how could you improve the relationship?
I actually think they have a great relationship, almost too great at times. I've heard, I went to the ribbon cutting last month or month before last to dedicate the stairs, and I was amazed at the cooperation of so many groups, and it was the MCC that I guess coordinated it, and it was excellent. I think Supervisor Horsley very much respects our opinions, and that's why I want to be on the Midcoast Council, so that I can continue to give him, or whoever takes over for him, the voice of the people and what the people want.
Thank you. And Barbara, will start with you on this question. What is the major benefit that Midcoast Community Council provides to constituents?
Well, they save us from having to go over on Tuesday mornings to the Board of Supervisors meeting if we really have something that we're upset with. They're also more knowledgeable about this coast. For the many years I've lived here, all of these members know more. They know every inch of the coast, and I respect that, and I have a great deal of respect for them.
Thank you. And Brandon, same question.
Thank you. I think that the Midcoast is a great forum for people to get together and to discuss issues and to send your grievances to the county or comments or compliments. And I believe that it's a great forum to lash out. I mean, if I get elected, you could say anything to me. You could complain whether there's, there's potholes or what to me. I'll take it because the forum is here for you guys. It's your opportunity. It's a megaphone for you to talk to the county. It's here every time, and I want to compliment the current members very much for being very, especially we don't even have a staff. All the work we get the mail ourselves. We update the website, especially Lisa Ketchum right there. I want to compliment on your skills for updating our websites. I mean, we all work very hard to have communication with the residents and listen to all of your needs and have your responses. Thank you.
Thank you. And Brandon, we'll start with you on this question. When there is a difference between what you hear from the community and what they want, and what an expert or a study determines is best for the area, what would you do? How would you handle that?
I think I'll have to, in those type of cases, we need to take a look at an issue one by one. I mean, let's face it, the world is not black and white. There's lots of gray areas. So we need to both, sometimes we could educate the public, sometimes we could have forums, and a lot of times we need to have compromises. We need to get together and work together, and that's how we move forward. And by communicating and working together, we can pass and exceed any challenges we face. I will look at every issue and try to listen and get as many input. And so, I want to implement more committees, have committee meetings. And so, these are the brainstorm of issues. So basically, having people talk to the right experts, the airport board, the airport parks, and all of those things. It requires coordination and compromise and listening. Thank you.
Thank you. And Barbara, same question.
I'm going to put it back on us citizens that there is plenty of notice put out there for all of us to know what's going on. And communication is key. I think that the one thing I've noticed is that we all love this area so much. We all care about it with a passion, and we don't change is going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it, but we need to make sure it's wise, and we need to be sure we all work together and we all work for the best Midcoast that we can possibly get. And if we all do it together, I think we can save the coast.
Thank you. And that would be the last Q&A before we move to closing statements. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to the candidates. Let me make a few announcements before the candidates have their final 2 minutes each. Remember that you can find additional information about the candidates for this office and all candidates for offices throughout the county on the League of Women Voters sponsored Voters Edge website. That's votersedge.org. Also, membership in the League is open to both men and women of voting age. If you are interested in helping your community with forums such as this, voter registration drives, or ballot measure pros and cons presentations, membership brochures are in the back of the room, or you can call our office at 650-342-5853. Lastly, some information on voting November 8th. If you vote by mail, be sure to get your ballot in on time. And I hope that you realize that you don't need to mail it. If you've completed it at home, you can walk it into any voting precinct on voting day, on election day, and drop it in the ballot box. I would add that California does allow you to vote during the 29 days prior to an election. That means starting October 11th this year. You can vote at 40 Tower Road, San Mateo Elections Office, 555 County Center at the County Clerk Recorder Office in Redwood City, and 840 Orange Avenue at the South San Francisco Library, Mondays through Fridays, 8 to 5, or Saturday, October 29, Saturday, November 5th, from 10 to 3. The county has more information at their website, shapethefuture.org. Now to closing remarks. So we'll go in reverse order from opening statements. Again, candidates have 2 minutes, and you'll be given a flashcard to tell you when you have 30 seconds left. And we're going to start with Barbara.
Thank you. Again, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight, and again, thank you to the Midcoast Council and the League of Women Voters. As a kid, we used to come over to the coast all the time, almost every weekend, and on 92, we would never run into another car. When I moved here, the traffic was only bad on the fall, coming to get pumpkins and Christmas trees. But now it's gridlock all the time. What's it going to be like in the next 10 years? The coast can't save itself, we have to. I will follow the charter of the Midcoast Community Council, and I will listen with respect to everyone's concerns and issues. I'll do my best to represent the entire Midcoast. I hope you will honor me with your vote. I love everything about this community, from the people, the businesses, even our foghorn. It's why it's been my home my entire adult life. And when I raise my children, it's where I raise my children and I entertain my granddaughters. I want to keep our rural charm and character for generations of families and visitors. I'm honored to have the endorsements of the Coastside Democrats and the Loma Prieta chapter of the Sierra Club, as well as many of my wonderful neighbors and local friends. Thank you very much, and I'd be honored to have your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And Brandon, closing remarks.
Thank you. The Midcoast we value are facing many challenges and obstacles. Together with your support, we can overcome any problems in our way. If you give me the opportunity to be your council member, I will advocate to protect our rural identity, help grow our small businesses and local economy, and bring more buses on the road to reduce traffic. I will always be here to listen to you before I make a decision. I will always be here for your concerns. To quote the great statesman and former president of France, Charles de Gaulle, I have come to the conclusion that politics are too serious a matter to be left to the politician. That quote by the French president cannot be overstated enough in these times. We must stand strong and firm until Half Moon Bay permanently renounces annexation. I have supreme confidence, and I look forward to our eventual victory, where El Granada, Moss Beach, and Montera are independent and prosperous with its own strong identity. Long live the coast side.
Thank you. That concludes our evening. I ask you to join me in a round of applause for the candidates, and a thank you to the Midcoast community.
And
We have a quick announcement.
Quick announcement. There are easy order guides. This is the propositions ballot. It's a very useful pro and con.
The lead.
And if you want more complex information, you go out to the website. For more detailed pro and con information. But these are the detailed now.
People voted me about